Welcome to Kill Team Casuals, a podcast all about Kill Team filmed in 3 different time zones by 3 different gents. Today we have a very special guest, Ryan from Turning Point Tactics, top global kill teamer and all-round lovely dude. Enjoy.
Who have you been talking to, Rhys? Oh my god!
Oh, seamlessly.
Hey, hello and welcome. Nothing to see here. It's as we planned it. The podcast has kicked off seamlessly. As always, the Kill Team Casuals. We're joined by our special guest host, Ben from Battle Brothers Tabletop. Fantastic to have him on his own show again. Yes. As always, welcome
as a guest
good of me to
host.
show up, huh? Good of me to show up. Yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome, fellas. And also joined by maybe the one of us who has never missed a single show, who's always been present. To pass over to Russ from GFN Gaming. Russ, the ever present.
The guiding star that is.
Like that. Russ,
the one
true.
Yeah.
I would have also accepted.
Yeah, I'm here. Thank you.
Russ the unflushable, but that's okay. We'll go ever present.
Yes. The rash no cream could cure. He's here once more. Russ, why am I introducing myself? You've just done it. Anyway, thank you, Ben, for introducing me to my own show. And thank you, Russ, for also introducing you to your own show. I'm going to pass this welcome train choo-chooing along. I don't know why I keep doing something for this. And we've got a special guest, top kill teamer and part host of Turning Point Tactics podcast. We have Ryan Slater. Welcome to the show.
Oh, man.
Howdy, Hal. Thank you for the introduction. Where am I taking this from? Is it this way?
Other side. Oh, God.
Other side. Sorry. I can't. Somewhere I'm taking it.
There it is.
Thank you for having me on. It's a pleasure as always. And weird that I'm doing an introduction on someone else's show. But I'm going to just pass this back. You need to tell me which way to go. Is it up? Is it up?
Yep, and down to your right. Up to your right.
This way? I'm going to pass this back up to Rhys. Yes. Rhys to win. We're nailing this. This has gone really well for the first try. Flawless.
Boom.
But thank you. Flawless, yeah.
Ryan, thank you so much for taking the time to hang out with us, especially considering your podcast is the complete opposite of ours. Yours is there to help the competitive players, help those who want to play the game, and actually even to talk about the game, which we are only
packed with value, you know.
You guys have had at least 3 episodes talking about Kill Team. I mean, I don't do yourselves out of service, and all of them were hosted by Emmanuel. It was great. So,
we are just empty calories until Emmanuel is the guest or someone else. We're just empty calories. You are the protein.
Fingers crossed. This one makes 4. Hopefully,
this will be the 4th.
Ryan
Don't get carried away. I don't know what to think about. Learn anything here.
So a little bit of history or details for you. This is coming from Russ. So I'm going to reel off these details, and then I do have an important question. Best player in the UK, Russ tells us, 3rd in the world officially, but one of the biggest things, the question I do, how does it feel having and knowing that Russ is there breathing physically and, metaphorically down your neck to be the number 1 in the UK? Tell us about how that feels.
It's quite smelly, actually. It has a certain aroma that it's like a fisherman's friend all the time as well.
That's part of the tactic. That's part of the plan.
I have been waiting, right? So I was so excited because I went up to Manchester like 3 times now, and I was waiting to get to do Legions of Russ, right, on the table, right? That was what I wanted to do. I never had it, right? He keeps dodging me and getting second place. I just dodge, dive, and dodge, like all the way up to the leaderboards.
They call it the submarine tactic. You lay low and you avoid the best players, and you can cruise to a top 5 finish without facing the top boards.
You just hit round 1 real hard, and then turn it on.
You avoid all the good players. It's good to go. Now I don't want to throw any spears, right? But like Russ knows a TO, so like maybe there's and I'm just seeing like Dan's pockets are pretty well aligned by the time he leaves. So
filled with Bundaberg, no doubt.
Crates of it. Where did he get that?
Greasing the gears with Bunda.
These are just coincidences. Yeah.
But I honestly, I can't wait to play Russ. It'd be great fun.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I mean,
Oh, man.
I am and I'm not, obviously.
I think it
And
would need to be a GFN official battle report with special effects added. I said that.
Just my tears.
I don't do that much high quality stuff. I'm sorry. I just do talking to a screen. That's it. Like,
I don't do bat reps that are over that quickly as well. I think that would be a.
Hey, I don't know if you know this, Ryan, but his YouTube videos need to be at least 8 minutes long. So,
all right, okay. I mean, you
can beat me. Yeah, you can beat me, but you've got to make it 9 minutes, like min, please.
You got to make it look like a fair fight.
The end credits go for 6 minutes. It's fine. It's like special thanks to.
We need the whole intro sequence.
We'll be fine. We'll probably be fine. Yeah.
Well, since we do legally have to, now we've got you on, Ryan, we have to speak some Kill Team. You recently did an episode talking about the latest updates or the latest balanced data slates or updates. I've got a question as a non-competitive player. The one that meant little to me, but I'm sure a lot for the competitive scene, was the update to the victory points.
Yes, I'm glad you asked this because I wanted to ask this too.
Yeah, so please take me, as someone who actually scores victory points, take me through how this affects you guys at the top tables. Russ, stay out of this.
All right. So
I've got this one, Ryan. Don't worry, I'm there.
I'll let you go ahead. I'll just pitch it on the end all few bits.
That's all I've got. Over to you, Ryan.
To save your blushes, Russ, I'll take some 15. Because
I appreciate it.
I don't want you to dumb it down to them too much.
I was going to say, they wouldn't get it if I said it.
So amusingly, I recorded an episode talking all about game plans, right? Like how you get the right amount of VP over the game to get your 12 VP. And I was like, yeah, sweet. That's a really good, tight episode. People will learn from that. Just about finished editing it, and then GW just went, yeah, that's all in the bin. Put it in the bin. It's not relevant anymore. It's now 16 VP on primary. Screw it. But loot's still 9. Fuck it, you can get 9 loot. Sorry. But anyway, but basically what I said in that episode is the way I look at it now is that there's 24 VP on the table is the way to look at it, and it's how you divvy that up between you and your opponent. So you can try and take 16, and if you're doing that, you're probably outskilling your opponent by a lot anyway. So fair play, But what I would say is try to find the way that you get 13. So how can you get that 1 point lead on all your opponents, and then that means that you can offset. But this has entered a new bit of the meta game where before you had to basically max tac ops, and if you weren't maxing tac ops, there was no comeback, right? So let's say, I don't know, you had some rubbish tac op execution or whatever, or whatever the head on, whatever it is, some seek and destroy one, and you've blown it on turn 1, and you're not going to get it anymore. And you're like, well, I'm down 2 VP now. There is now a game plan for you to come back, which is kind of cool. So that's interesting. So that the way that is played now at the table is right, I need to just go out and max on the remaining turns and deny as much VP to my opponent as possible. Which was still kind of part of it. There was still that in the game, because it used to be more about denying VP was a whole thing about how much you could take away from your opponent to make sure that you got your 12 and they didn't get 12. But now it's just how do you get 13, right? So if you can get 13, you're always 1 up on primaries, and then they're going to have to try and find that in the tac ops or wherever else. But this is the point I will say is the win condition is still there, right? So if you're going to a tournament and the tiebreaker that's in effect, because we don't play many 5-6 round tournaments, they're rare. If there is a tiebreaker there, you've got to know where that tiebreaker is. If that is just VP in general, then absolutely go out the door, max VP, because you need to get that. But if it's tac ops, don't be throwing away tac ops because you're trying to get 16 points on primaries, and then you just end up losing the tournament and get second place like a chump like me, because I didn't max tac ops the other day. And then you.
How could you?
Yeah, I know. Terrible.
Max,
I'm in.
Ops, that sounds nuts.
I'm embarrassed. I'm sorry, guys. Ryan, do you know the guy who beat you? We'll get him on the pod instead.
Yeah. Sorry, we should get him on.
Russ, you lied. You said the number one in the UK, right?
You're making me look bad, Ryan. Come on, man.
Guys, I haven't won a tournament in 2 weeks. All right, like I am. It is bad.
Oh my god!
It's whole weeks.
2 whole weeks.
I got beat by my teammate like the other day. I drew my teammate the other day before that, and then I won lost on tiebreakers. So it's been a pretty rough start to the year. I think I'm only like.
I mean, you play so many tournaments. Do you get? I know I'm just breezing straight into questions, Rhys, and I apologize.
No, please do.
But do you?
I had one.
Do you? Any question that isn't answered by Rhys has not been cleared, so it might just be rubbish. So I'm just gonna have to level with you. We don't clear this stuff with Rhys.
Just start
after the show, Russ. We'll talk.
Yes, sorry, Rhys. But you play so many tournaments, obviously, because you come up to the ones in Manchester that I go to, and obviously you got like Nottingham, and I'm sure you guys do stuff. Presumably where you guys are in Lincoln and stuff like that. But do you play a lot like casually, or is you basically getting all your practice in at tournaments because you play so many, or are you playing with your brother and stuff like that?
Sorry, you see, you said something there. Is it casually? What does that mean?
There are no casual games in the Slayer household.
How
dare you? Excuse me while I get a train ticket and slap you in your face in person.
We'll wait to see it as well.
Yeah.
So.
I deserve it.
So like I tried to play like weekly. Now I didn't for a long time. I used to only ever play in tournaments, and at home with Connor. So pretty much all my games were pretty much competitive games. But now I can blame this guy because he started getting me into it in the local Nottingham scene. But basically, Jason in the local Nottingham scene, you know who you are, right? You know who you are, Jason. He started introducing me to this casual, right? This casual play, and it is good fun, right? It's good fun, and it is meaning that I'm picking up maybe we play like 2 games on a Thursday, 2 games on a Friday, so up to 4 games a week, and then I'll go for a tournament the weekend. And that more about like just me messing around with new teams, just seeing how teams play, because I guess my like starting the pod kind of means that my desire to just all out win only has somewhat gone down. Like I'm still playing to win. I'm not going to hide that. I'm a competitive player at heart, but I'm trying to now play with a breadth of teams. So you'll see that every tournament I've gone to this year, I've taken a different team. So I started with Breachers, and I went to Blooded, and then I went to Starstriders.
I was going to say, I've never seen you play the same team twice, which is nuts because the amount of special rules all those teams have to have. That's why I'm thinking you must play a lot just to be like, because if I've had less than 3 games with a team before I go to a tournament, I'm doing badly at that tournament. I'm not going to do well, which is why I stick to similar teams. It's just like, it's just impressive that you switch around and manage to do. And again, well, I mean, too gushy, but you do so well with teams like, and every time it's a new team. And it's just, I guess your fundamentals must be pretty solid. And then you just like pick up the new rules for each individual team pretty well, I guess. Obvious statement, but yeah.
And that's kind of like, interestingly, I think it's why one of the reasons I made the pod in the first place, right, is that I genuinely think there's just like some core fundamentals of the game that you can take to any team and you can do well with them, right? Like, and if you understand it, like say you're playing a horde team, you can reverse it and play it as elites, and you can go, like, what really messes me up when I'm playing my horde team is someone doing this. So I'm now playing elites, I'm going to do this and try and mess up their game plan, right? And I do genuinely think it is like easy for people to learn these skills, and that's why I made the sort of what I call it the casual to competitive series. So we pretty much finished it now, which just goes through each step of the sequence and being like, if you do this, it makes it better for you, and you do this, and you can just go through the whole mission sequence, and hopefully people will then go, oh, actually, it's not too hard to learn. And then it's interesting because the games in the UK, I can't speak to the US or Spain or anything like that, and I think Spain's already weeks ahead, but
or Australia, it's fine.
Oh, yeah, sorry, yeah. There's a community.
They can't speak for themselves either.
Sorry, I can't hear them down the leaderboards there. But like,
but yes.
but yeah. So everyone's getting better, right? And that's like really cool to see is that you see people that are turning up. So there's a guy that I played against 3-4 times, 3 or 4 times. He's also called Ryan. He's from Manchester. And like every time he plays,
is that just Russ in a wig?
Yeah, it could well
no,
be.
Ryan is good. It's the other Ryan in Manchester. Yeah, he's a good player. Yeah.
And so one of 2 Ryans in all of England. I like it.
Yeah.
It's
we're a tight community.
There's just 2. It's a very rare name.
Yeah.
And they live just right across the street. Yeah.
Yeah, separate houses though. I mean, keep it casual. But like the first game, and I think he'll be happy to say this, like we played and it was pretty one-sided, right? Like I was like, cool, you're still pretty new to competitive stuff, whatever. And he hadn't learned a lot of the hard lessons. And in the next game, it was much closer, but there was still like I felt a definitive. I think I'm going to win this like from early on. The last game he played, I was like, dude, there's 1 VP in it. And I was like, I'm actually having to like think, how do I get this tiny like points advantage and try and make it work? And it was like so close. So it's really cool to see that people are just massively improving in the competitive scene, because I do think it's easy in a core principles thing, and you can apply it to every team. But that's also why I'm trying to play other teams, right? Because if I just turn up every week and said I win with Pathfinders, everyone goes, cool, great, you're really good at Pathfinders, but you don't play Intercession, so why would I listen to you about Intercession? It's like, well, okay, fair enough. So I want to make sure that when I approach a team, I play the team first, I take it to a tournament, I try and learn the lessons and go with a bit of my own knowledge and applied tournament knowledge. This is what I think. And that's kind of what I've been doing. So it's been fun so far. And it's not, I would say, if you want to win a lot, it's not the way to do it. Like you want to just learn the team and get really good with the team.
Sure, crack that code, yeah.
Yeah, but it is fun just to take completely new teams. So it's an interesting thing. People like trying to guess what I'm going to take. So I don't know what I'm going to take. Right, like I'm looking through the things like I don't know, maybe this, and we'll see. Like I'm trying to take competitive stuff, but like I haven't taken Kazkin yet until they get buffed again. Well, maybe now. I don't know.
Welcome to my world, man. Welcome to Team Kazkin over here. Is there a team?
Kazkin is one of the teams that I'm looking at right now. It's one of the ones that I'm considering jumping into. Just as I know you're a Scion lover. I was a big fan of Scions. Yeah. And so they're scratching that itch a little bit. And I have gotten over the 3-up ballistic skill. It's fine. People aren't over it, but I am over it. And but yeah, I like what they did.
I think they're almost there now. Like I want to give them. So I've got the models. And I'm going to get someone hoping to paint them because we have people for that. You understand, Ben? We have people for that.
Of course, yeah, we all do.
But I have to pay them like a lot of money. But like, but
unlike Ben,
unlike Ben, he just gets it. Just
cracks the whip and they do it.
I pay them in meet and greets, fellas. Okay,
cult, right? There's that warp fire cult you guys hear about in Florida.
Yeah, we've heard about it. Don't worry about that.
Oh yeah, have we heard about it?
But no, I think that might be there. Like, I want to give them a go because I think like the way I'm looking at them is almost like an auto-retain crit team, because they have enough elite points now. I think that you just basically go, whatever I roll, I'm making the 1 into a 6 every time you shoot. Unless it's like the whole roll's terrible, where you just go, okay, well, whatever. But like, there's a potential you can be again like a crit and 2 hits every time you shoot, which is pretty reliable. So we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, and then you touched on. Oh, sorry, Rhys. The delay. I walked all over you again. Go ahead.
That's fine. I was just going to say, you obviously pick the teams, you try the different ones. Has there ever been a team though that you've taken from the competitive standpoint, but you just actually didn't like the way they play? Like, is there any team that you're just like, this wasn't a fun team to play? Yes, they may be competitive, but I was a bit like, geez, I can't wait to switch it up again.
That's a great question. What is the least fun team to play? I'm trying to think.
They're all fun when you win.
Rhys.
Yeah, winning is great. No, so what I didn't say when I first started playing, I was playing Talons, and what I didn't like was sort of the feel bads that came with it, because like if you finish a game and you haven't lost a single guy, like your opponent just walks away being like, that was a terrible game, and you're like, well, yeah, like you didn't kill anyone, and it feels really bad, right? Because you want them to feel like they're doing something, they're enjoying it.
You just played team. I was playing kill team. It's like,
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like,
were you playing 4 APL custodies? Is this back in the day? When
yeah, this is like back in the day. This was, but right, so I wasn't. So this is my brag, right? Is Brotherhood of Demigods had that like ridiculous rule. I played it once against my brother, where basically
like the end of the turn.
Well, at any point of the turn. So you do at the start of the turn, and you just go, I'm going to move this guy 6 inches, and then I'm going to activate him, and he's going to charge you 8 inches, and he's going to stab your rail guy to death, and then he's going to shoot 2 more of you guys for good measure. And like you kill 3 guys at the start of the turn, and they're just like, "Oh, look, I didn't see the 20-inch charge coming." You're like, "Well, you should have." So
be better at the game.
Again, like scout.
You should anticipate
3-inch 9-inch move. Yeah, like I mean, dude, like this is the way it's played. It's gross, right? Absolutely gross. But like when I went to the first LGT, I was like, I'm not going to use that rule. Like I think that rule is not meant to be in the game. It's broken. The team doesn't need it. I didn't use it, and I still managed to win day 1. I didn't win day 2. They're like 2 separate tournaments. But yeah, so like that was one of the teams where because of that exact reason, like you see the feel bad. You see people go, I didn't enjoy playing you, and it was the same actually with like Pathfinders when they were like right at the beginning, and they were so impressive.
Sounds about right.
A guy called Antonio, and like he played a good game, right? Like he did everything, but he didn't make a mistake. He's just like, you just activate 4 models before me and you win. And I'm like, yeah, that's the team. So like the next tournament, because I thought everyone was going to take them, and they didn't. I was like, well, I'm going to take my science out. And I said to Tio, like, you're right if I don't play Pathfinders, because like no one's going to enjoy that. Like, and he was like, yeah, sure, change team. I was like, cool. So I did. So yeah,
you still win?
Yeah. Oh no, that one I didn't. No, that one I didn't.
Oh.
That one I lost to my team.
Oh,
I came like second. So.
Oh, my shame! What shame!
Yeah.
What shame!
The compendium team. How dare you?
Yeah, it was.
Now you mentioned like we started with the change to victory points and stuff. How do you think that shakes up elites versus hordes and stuff like that? Like, I prefer the elites. Like, I just easier on my smooth brain, and so I prefer the elites. I prefer less model count. But how do you think that shakes down meta wise?
So really interestingly, I think elites are in a great place at the moment, because the whole competitive the missions, all of them favor elites. Like, and people think they don't because they have 6 objectives, but in 2 of the missions they're sticky objectives, and in one of the missions you can only elite them a finite amount of times. And if you sit a guy on there on 3 APL. Okay, well, you have to throw 2 guardsmen on to elite the point, and then when you do, I'm going to elite the one over there, and I'm going to kill 2 guys whilst I'm at it, and that can be like just really rough to play against. So elites are in a great place. I personally think this is me like reading into the future a little bit, and maybe we'll figure it out.
That's what we want. We want that secret Ryan sauce. That's what we want.
But I think Intercession's going to be like the winner of this balanced data slate, which is odd because they got a nerf in durable. But I think people were like using durable as a bit too much of a crutch a little bit. Like it's good for Corsairs as well, because non-durable Intercession is good for Corsairs with their power swords. But generally, like, cool. You're going to see Intercession now with their base damage 3 and being able to just bully objectives be really effective, which I think's really good for them as a team. And on open board, I think they have the advantage over Legionary. I think you have to play really good on Into the Dark, into Legionary if you're playing in session. And I learned that lesson pretty hard last weekend. So like I played one of my teammates, and he crushed me with his Legionary. So it was bad. Like I also lost track of turns, and I was midway through turning point. I think it was 3 or 4, and I said, "This is turning point." I think it was like turning point 4. I was like, "This is turning point 3, right?" And then he's like, "No, it's 4." I was like, "Well, I have definitely lost." So like I'm like midway through the turn, going, "I'll make this back next turn. Like, I've got this. Like one more turning point, and I can turn this around." It's like it's not a 5-turn like game, right? You can't do that. So yeah, no, I think. Does it favour elites or hordes? To answer your question in summary, I don't think it favours either, to be honest. I think just elites in general are in a good place. I don't think the change to VP has affected that balance, because a lot of people think that because there's more VP on the table, hordes can rush forward and take it better. But actually, the way I play elites and the way I see elites competitively winning is more of a defensive play anyway. So they're going to go 3-3 and then probably 4-4. And if they can get to those last turning points and one is alive, they're going to kill people and deny the whole team anyway. So I don't think it changes in that much. But yeah.
Cool. No, that's great. I'm going to steal that opinion at the local game store as my own opinion now, just so you know.
Oh yeah.
I'll just give that I was like, well,
word for word,
guys,
verbatim.
Yeah, it's like, man, if I had to really think about it.
Well, speaking of cults at Warpfire, Ben, you've been wearing a new hat this week or this previous weekend.
Yeah.
Obviously, Ryan would be someone you'd like to have at your tournament. Take us a little bit through your experience as TO champion.
Yeah. So this was, again, a not very casual move of mine, but Florida has always been sort of a kill team dead zone, like just not been much going on. And I've always wanted to play in like tournaments. I've always had to travel for them, which sucks. So now there's tournaments happening, but I'm not playing in them because I guess I'll be TOing them now. But it went really good. I was nervous because, again, I like to improve. I like to try and play competitively for me, but would not call myself really a competitive player. But I do like to improve, whatever. But so I had a TO, and I was the only TO, but it went really well. We had 22 people sign up. We had 2 drop, and so it was a total of 20 people. Really great. We had the person who won, I lose a lot to. He's a commando player. His name is Benjamin McMillan, and I lose a lot to him. And the fact that he won made me feel a lot better about myself. Because he did well with commandos, like going into Geller, we had 3 Gellerpox, bounce around, like only 2 intercession, only 1 legionary, tons of corsairs, tons of elves, of all varieties. But it was really interesting. And the Gellerpox was the big, like everybody was scared of Gellerpox, like across the board. It was like, I just don't want to fight Gellerpox next round. And but it was good, man. He's a really good player, and I think what sort of sealed him. His last game was a big dynamite play with his knob, not on the breacher, but on the knob, and so it worked out really good. But no real fights, no real feels bad. There was one potential feels bad, but we worked past it, and we were good. And it's funny, like the nerds are like, turn 1, turn 2, it's like, oh man, we're so happy to be here. Turn 3 and 4, the sweat kicks in, man. It was like at the top of turn 3, it's like I'm getting called around everywhere. People are like, you can tell they're looking over the rule books, and like their voice is getting a little bit louder. And it's like, hey guys, we're just looking at the rules. It's all right. And but it went really well. Really well. And shout out to Warpfire for hosting it because they're freaking rad.
There it is.
Yeah, there it is. Gotta pay the bills. I gotta pay these people somehow, guys.
Was there any particular rule as the TO or anything that you found came up a lot? Like, is there any rule that people
just line of sight?
Line of sight.
Just line of sight.
Yeah.
Just like most of it was, hey, is this a legal shot? Can I take this shot? Was most of it. There was like a couple. I guess this probably always happens, but there was some real weird edge cases, like blast being, where's if a Gellerpox is just high enough so he can see his little glitchling on the other side of this barricade, does he have line of sight for the blast? And like just like really sort of edge case stuff. But what was the question? I forgot what you totally asked. I just went back into my mind palace of what happened and got lost there.
Answering it was basically
it's just a shed with the door open and the window going. That's the mind palace, isn't it?
The wind whistling through it.
A cat scurries out.
My mind shed. Yeah, the mind shed.
Yeah, the mind shed. Yeah.
Ben's just like, I thought we were just asking Ryan questions today. I wasn't ready.
I wasn't prepared for this.
I haven't prepped any answers. Yeah.
But no, went really well. And again, the only bummer is that I wish I could have played. Just because, man, I'd like to play in a tournament again. But I have that.
Was there an award for last place? Was there?
There was no award for last place.
Oh, that's why. Yeah,
we did. I think our last place was.
Gets a wedgie on the way out.
Yeah, it was. I think it was a Pathfinders, a very new Pathfinders player, which is a tough team to jump into and then jump into a tournament with.
But were you playing? I haven't asked actually. Were you playing a mix of Into the Dark or an open play? Or was it open play?
Yeah, we did a mix.
I like those. I like an open. I like a mix.
So I like it in theory. Like the best way to do it right would be to have. So if you have 20 people, have 10 of each board. We had 5 and 5. So in general, it was like average out to be, some would do 3 and 1. Ideally, you go 2 and 2. Not many people went 2 and 2. Like the second place course, like so a potential problem, right? When you do this, the second place, who's a Corsair player, went 4 into the dark, which is just what he wanted the whole time, right? So that's like where he wants to be. So there is some swing there. It's how we did it. It was the first one. I knew there was going to be some of that jank happening. But I do like the idea of, well, if you pick a team, you need to have a game plan for Into the Dark and Open and roster choices for both. Like that to me is interesting, but I know a lot of people may not share that opinion.
Ryan, how do you feel about that when from the competitive lead side of it? Do you have a preference of all or nothing, or a bit of a sprinkle of both?
So like if I wanted a purely competitive event, I would love to have just open board or just Into the Dark. And just play 1 or 2, right? Like, my personal preference is open board. I think it's a more interesting game because I'm a bit more 3D. But I'm also like fully aware of like the realities of being a TO, right? And trying to source 10, 15, how many boards of open board terrain is just so difficult to do. So the logical conclusion is, right, is that you get to the point where it's a mixed setup, right? That's what everyone does. I think like the really cool tournaments, the ones where you have like split days, and you can be like, we're gonna have 20 boards of open board, and then day 2 is 20 boards of ITD. Like, that's insane. Like, that's awesome to do, but I get why it doesn't work that way. So from a purely competitive point of view, I think it's easier to sort of like practice and plan and do either open or ITD, because particularly all have rounds, right? So like either it's like we're all going to play open board now, and then we're all going to play ITD now, because it can be really difficult when you go like, oh, that guy's playing on ITD and that guy's playing on open board, and then maybe some tackles are easier to score, hard to score based on what game you're playing, and then people can feel like maybe they were cheated out of a VP or whatever, and that might be the one that determines the tournament. But no, like I'm also a big advocate for like all these things are irrelevant, right? It's like personal opinion, right? Like I can be a guy that says I like open board, and someone else can say I love it Into Dark, and cool. Like, and someone loves playing on both. As a competitive player, you got to go to each table and go, I'm at this tournament, and this is the mission pack, right? Like ahead of time, this is going to be a split tournament. So take the team that you think is going to do well on both, and I don't think Kill Team is that far out where you can't do that, right? So you can definitely play both sides and figure out a team that's going to perform well for both of them. And you have your strategies and you have your tactics, and you just figure out who's a better player on the day. So I think it's achievable. But if I was to choose myself, 100%, I would just choose an individual event and just play either way. That's just me. But it wasn't interesting that you said there, Ben, is that you didn't have that many elite players, which is like, that's crazy, because elites make
like you just used to be Intercessor City. Yeah. So it was really interesting. I think the most of the same team was 3 Gellerpox. It was 3 Gellerpox, 2 Corsair, 2 what are some of the other elves? 2 Corsairs,
and the Archon.
Yeah, 2 Archon, one Craft World. That was pretty interesting.
Wow.
And, brave soul. But yeah, it was a good time. Like next tournament will be already locked it in. It'll be just all open again. I think if you had to pick one, again, like at KTO, we've seen some of the issues that can happen when it's all Into the Dark, right? And so that's why I didn't want to go all Into the Dark. And so, but the next one will definitely be all open. And by the way, shout out, thank you, Ryan, because we used your Octarius open board layout, starting point tactics, and I think they're great. I really like them. That's what we use at the shop. I think it's like of all the ones that I've seen, like those are my favorite, and that was my opinion before Russ said we were going to get you on. So this is as a fanboy of your layout.
You told me you made the map pack.
Yeah, you were adamant about
it. To be fair, I told everybody else I made them as well. So yeah, don't feel special, Russ.
I think it's like, so I tried to make it because I think like loads of people, when I went to the casual scene, you turn up and you see the map people are making.
Oh God!
Like, the shooting team's doing really well here, and I'm like, yeah, like no doubt. Like there is no terrain on that table at all. You know,
there's a
where are you guys hiding?
There's one crate.
It's like you're just gonna kill everyone. And so I was like, well, you know, I want to try and give a resource people that would help them out. I've just made version 2 actually, so a few tweaks to Octarius and to Nakman based on some feedback because they said the mid board was a bit too empty, which I agreed with. I tried to make the deployment zones as safe as possible, and that had a bit of a penalty. So there's version 1, version 2 out there now, so people can get a flavor for each. But yeah, it's there as a tool, right? Like people can use it, not use it, up to them, and it gives TO an out as well because if you know, everyone hates maps, right? Like whatever reason the map wasn't for them, right? Like, and it means a TO can go, here's a map that someone else made, and you can blame them. And it's like,
take your hands off.
It's like, I didn't make it.
It wasn't me.
It's like, and GW isn't doing that, so here I am, just being like, I'll be the guy that made the terrible map for you. So yeah, it's out there, and it's designed to try and give as much of a balanced gameplay experience as possible. So hopefully people enjoy them, but we'll see.
Yeah, they were solid. Big fan.
Yeah.
I've enjoyed the chat was actually just talking there about Admiral Rudy was just saying the thing to keep in mind is that you can play your heart out, but sometimes the dice are going to hose you. I think that's also something. And then Papa Kraken joined in and said that the dice are his hardest opponent. So that's always something, obviously, from the competitive scene to keep in mind is that it is a dice game fundamentally at the end of the day.
Speaking of dice, we had a Gellerpox player in one game make 65% of his Feel No Pains. Yeah. His opponent was he was a clowns player, and it was just you could see it on his face, like he was just ready to melt. Like he's like going into these hulks, and they're making 65% roughly of their Feel No Pains. And it's just brutal.
That is soul destroying, that stuff. That is still my one pet hate, is playing against teams with either ignoring wounds or what, like, oh, you do everything right, you set it all up, you roll your dice, and then they just go, let's see how many 5s and 6s, and you just, still makes my skin.
Congratulations, you did 3 damage to this hole.
That plasma gun you just used has done 3 damage.
You did more mortal wounds to yourself than you did to the
every time they save one, they get to save it again. So it's a perpetual problem where these guys could eat like way like astronomically stronger than they should be. And it's like I just cannot kill this guy. I played a game against Death Guard, and I rolled really hot, and I felt really bad. I was like, oh my god, I feel terrible. I just rolled like 5, 5, 6, 6 on this roll. Like, jeez, it was lethal 5. And he's like, yeah, don't worry about it. Rolls his fucking Feel No Pains. And he's like, took 2 damage, and I'm like, all right, cool. Well, there we go. Like, move on. So yeah, it can be rough. Those variable Feel No Pains. I'm not a fan.
Are you excited, Ryan? Looking forward to the 2 new teams coming out, the Beastmen and the Votan. Are you excited about what they're going to be bringing to the table?
Yeah, so it'll be interesting to see, because I mean, like, just looking at them purely from like a what are the plastics say point of view. Well, I don't know how they're going to make Beastmen good. Like,
I know.
I'm looking at a team
in combat.
Russ and Ben are all in on them as well, so they are sweating about
where are the leaks?
To sweat at tournaments.
We get so many leaks. Like Dante, they get the model out in advance. Where are the rules for the Beastmen? I want to see him.
Such a tight ship in Kill Team, isn't it?
It really is. Yeah.
But yeah, like. Maybe they're all gonna be like 8 movement, and they're just gonna like sprint across the board and just be like in your face.
So cool! Oh my god!
But, like,
don't set me up.
Then you'll have teams like
that.
Kazkim being like, "Just give us a break, right? Like, just give us a break.
Come on, man.
Come on." Like, so I don't know how that team's gonna work. I'm struggling to see how much range damage it can do. It just needs to be, I don't know. So that'll be interesting. And then Votan, like, how are they going to do the movement? Are they going to be too slow? Are they going to Necrons? Are they going to give them loads of free mission actions? Like, a
4-inch movement on a bespoke team is a death sentence. Like,
God, I hate it. Yeah,
except for the guy with the jetpack who will get like an extra triangle.
Yeah.
Extra inch.
Either that or it'll be ridiculous. It'll be one of the two. It'll be like way too much, or it'll be just like.
Or it'll be no extra movement. He just gets fly. 4 inches with fly.
Fly. Imagine that. Oh, that'd be funny.
I can't wait for him to bring out a team where it's gonna be quicker for you to just dash. Like that's the best team. It's just like But no, like, it'll be interesting to see. My gut says if they have lots of like, 'cause they sort of mentioned free mission actions as a thing, which might mean that they have really high mission or action economy. So in that case,
loot and salvage for them like makes sense that they would get that free. But obviously, you can't just say loot and salvage. But yeah, so it would be a mission action. That would make
anything
sense.
but capture, right? Like there'll be. Oh, sorry, anything but capture. That's right. Anything capture they'll be good on. So I don't know. It'll be interesting. Like I'm excited because I would love to see behind the curtain. You know, like I would love to see behind play testing and all that sort of stuff, and like know what goes on back there. Like I want to meet the person that balanced Heretic Circle out for the first time. Like that would be crazy. It's like, yeah, you were happy with this team? Like, yeah, okay.
What a box! Oh my god, what a box!
Yeah, that was an odd one that came out.
But to be fair to them, they've done a pretty good job on other teams. Like I would rather that they bring in teams. Like we have the opposite effect of Big 40K, right? Where like they bring in this thing where it's like, okay, well, for the next 2 months it's Tyrannid month, right? Like you just have to deal with the Tyrannid players. Whereas now it's like, okay, well, there's a bunch of annoyed people who are like, well, my guys have been terrible, but you know, at least they're not dominating the competitive scene. And then they've been really good at balancing stuff. So everything's come back into line. And I think Heretic now are pretty good. Like actually they have stuff they need to do. Maybe say about Kaskin. I need to play them. I haven't played Kaskin.
I've played against Heretic Circle a little bit, like obviously just within my little social group and that. And there's definitely shining lights about them, and the frustration of again any team that you can kill guys and they can come back to life. You know that can even before this latest dataslate, and they were getting already the improvement to getting their wounds back. It was already a frustrating thing, like playing Kassakin myself too. You know, it was the battle of the bottom of the table. But it was that thing as I was running out of elite points and he's bringing guys back to life. It was amazing to see that swing of my ability to actually kill them quickly dissipated.
Yeah, I mean, they're like herpes or Russ. It's like, yeah. It just won't go away when you need to. Like, it's just, yeah. The problem is though is that you know full well, and then there's the whole problem with it being based on like a variable dice roll is you're gonna make you in one tournament game the guy will make every single one, and you'll be like, oh my god, this is so unfair. And the next tournament game your opponent won't make a single one, and you'll be like, I feel so I feel terrible because your team thing isn't happening, and I can't make your game better for you. And it's just that there's a real feel bad for me. Like, it's like when your opponent, I played against a guy running Novitiates the other day. Like, he's running Novitiates, right? They'd fixed dice, and his like crack grenade just like could not get any hits. And I'm like, you re-rolled all 4 dice, and I'm like, I don't know, like, it's gross. I just felt bad. But I was like, yeah. So no, it'd be interesting to see how the teams balance out. I'm excited for the thing. I'm also at some point we're going to see the next season, right? Like maybe.
I was going to say,
what's it gonna
be? What's next? We're coming out of the dark. Wild speculation time.
Underground.
Like
more open terrain, baby.
More. You know what I think?
Terrain.
I think they might try and do a new way to play the game, but like introducing, like, you know how we got like the different attack archetypes. I think they'll be like, here is a deck of cards that you like, kind of like they do for Big Hammer sometimes. Again, I'm going back like 7th edition.
We made 12 of them. Here you go.
3 objectives that you all have to, all 3, like both opponents have to go for these objectives, and then you change them out, or like some other way of playing it. Because I don't think, I mean, aside from like a big jungle, which obviously I'd love a Catachan jungle. Aside from that, which is the dream, or like a mine, but we kind of got that, haven't we, with Into the Dark? I don't think we need to go in anything anymore.
We've got enough. Thank you very much.
We've gone in enough things. Thanks, done. But like wild speculation into the ground, just digging in.
It's going to be
what's next?
Vertical, vertical like gangways like 8 levels high.
Necromunda.
Yeah,
it's going to be Necromunda.
Yeah. Everyone's got jetpacks.
Yeah,
that's what it is. Just that one Votan mode. Yeah, Bespin. Just everyone's kind of like that. It's gonna happen.
Make jump tests really relevant, where like you roll dice for 3 every time.
Oh yeah.
What's a jump test?
Oh, you failed. It's on forever. Gone
Who knows?
forever.
No one ever uses them. It's not a thing. Like, it's just like the rule that's in the game. Like,
You know what, guys? I think the big thing we've got to take stock of here is we've got a guest on. Ryan didn't come here to talk Kill Team. He came here to talk Legions of Russ. It hasn't happened for him in the flesh, but Russ has lured him into the show to be embarrassed live in front of people. So, Russ, what do you want us to do?
I think we have to play it up inside itself.
Good luck to us. We'll only say this once. It's finally time for Legions of Russ.
Such a magical
Beautiful.
song. Such a
Beautiful
magical
song. Oh, thank you, John Mayer. Shout out John Mayer.
Right in the
for
cockles.
giving us those beautiful, right in the fields. You know what? I do this every time. I have forgotten the rules again. I basically have to talk until the rules come up on the screen, and then I can read them back. So, welcome
I have never known
to
the rules,
Legions.
so.
I think that's the charm of the
I'm
game.
still waiting to learn them.
I just wanna say that,
Welcome.
like,
I'm actually waiting for the next balanced data slate.
Really?
Like I listen to this. I listen to all your episodes, right? And this is something I'm terrible at. And I'm a competitive guy.
I was gonna say.
I'm not ready for this. Like I'm gonna come in here and get beaten by a bunch of casuals. It's gonna hurt my ego. Like,
And there's no feel, no pains here, baby.
yeah.
no.
I'm feeling all the pain. All the pain.
Yeah. And then the guys will be like, oh, yeah, you know, it's in the Kill Team realm, I beat Ryan Slater. And then they're never going to mention it was Lord of the Legions of Russ. They'll be like, oh, yeah, we beat Ryan in Kill Team stuff. Yeah, that's all. It'll be out there in the world.
Stuff.
I've
Kill Team stuff. Don't ask
Instagram post.
Don't ask any more questions. Yeah.
I'm going to turn to Warfire and just crush Ben to make up for it. I have to go to Australia. It's going to cost me so much money just to make this, to make my ego even again.
Claw back that victory. Yeah, and then we'll have you back on again, and it starts again, and it's just it's too much.
Vicious cycle.
Yeah. So much.
So
Just make
welcome
it quick. That's all I ask for.
to rip it off. We got 2 Legions of Russ.
Here's that quite
today.
frequently, so you shouldn't do
Yeah,
that.
I do. Yeah, I mean, the thing is, hopefully they'll be not too bad, but you never know. You can never tell when you're writing them. So, in this game, we read a clue, puzzle, mind fart, something that is describing a chapter or a regiment of guard or a Xenos faction. I'm not going to tell the guys anymore. I'll leave it up to, they can guess, because Ben's getting too good at like Uzi guessing the Wikipedia page, so I don't give him any clues anymore.
Fair.
It's fine. It's fine. It's my first time.
Yes.
You make it hard.
Yeah. So how it is scored? It's generally it's an obscure chapter. I'm going to say that these are obscure ones as well.
Ooh,
How you score this
chapter?
point? Oh well, no, just like factions. You know what I mean? I'm not giving no clues, Ben. So partial guess. If you can guess a partially correct answer, so some part of the answer. Again, this is all awarded by me. You get 1 victory point. If you manage to do that partial guess before clues, it's an extra victory point, 2 victory points. We then move to the completion guess. If you are the person that has successfully completed the guess, you get 1 victory point. If you are also the person that did the partial and did it before clues, and you did the completion guess before clues, that's a 4-point swing. That's big in the game. A 4-point. We've only had maybe 2 snipes in Legions of Russ history.
Mm-hmm.
Just saying. Okay.
Who did those, Russ?
Was it Shane?
Shane got 1. I think Rhys got the other. I
Thank
think that's
you.
what he's hinting at.
That's all I wanted to,
Yeah,
that's
you
all
go.
I wanted to hear.
I know you don't care about Shane. I got 1, he says. So
What's a shame?
I make sure Rhys, Ben, close down the Twitch chat.
Oh yes.
I will
Yep.
be. I've got the
Already
chat
down.
open.
Already down.
Yeah, I've got it open so I can see what you guys are reading. Ryan, your name is your buzzer here. So these guys, history will say that these guys will not go easy on you. So
It's like
Yeah.
we're
Desperate,
Primaris
okay?
here and there, or who else is good? There's someone else that's good as well.
yeah,
Who-
Lapscallion,
Yeah.
Primaris, Pain,
They just
Ali's.
find me on
Yeah.
Discord and just open up a little private.
There's some sharks in the chat. There is definitely sharks
That's
in the
smart. You know what? If I'm
Like,
ever doing this
find me,
again,
turning point tactics,
Yeah.
like
I'm definitely doing that. They're
it'd
good.
be great. Cheers, guys. Like,
Yeah.
don't let me die out.
The team effort, guys. This is the
team
people.
tournament, yeah.
Ryan and the people versus Rhys and Ben. So
team champions of the world.
Tag team Oh, we've got tag team champions now. I mean, they'll win.
Oh, if you
Rhys,
want to.
come on, they'll win. Ben, how are you feeling, buddy? Top of the Legions of Rust.
I never go
good.
into these feeling good,
know.
and sometimes I leave feeling worse.
Yeah, I've seen. I mean, the messages Ben sends me saying, "Please stop doing Legion." But here we are. Rhys, how are you feeling?
I'm so tired. My eyes are bleeding. So let's get it.
I think that's the sweet spot. I think that's the sweet spot for Legions of Rust. Don't abandon reason.
I'm in a 4th time zone right now.
Ryan, you're a guest on the show, and we are inflicting this on you. How are you feeling?
About as confident as a CP reroll on a 5-up save.
Yes.
Not confident.
You had that locked and loaded. That was good.
Yeah.
That was good. I like that.
Tick that off the list.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to give you your first free clue, which is this faction is of Imperium.
Ooh.
So it's not, it's not Chaos, it's not Xenos, it is Imperium.
The good bad guys.
Yeah, the goodest of the baddest. And it's a 4.5.
That's a 10-pointer.
It's a 10-pointer right off there. Right, I'll move on to the second one. Ryan's got a 10-point lead. So this is the second one. Everyone, start again. Okay, are we ready? Let's go. Ooh. I feel like every time I do this, I'm doing it for the first time, and I'm just realizing how to do it. And in reality, it's been like 40 odd episodes of this madness. Okay. Almost read it out there. Didn't. Check myself.
Imperial Fist.
Here we go. Almost A. It's happened before.
Wouldn't be a shame.
Ooh, wouldn't be a shame. So, here we go. It is 2 words. Everyone in the chat. It takes ages to start. Everyone in the chat, man. Get ready.
God.
Ben's like, I have children to put to sleep. Russ.
I do it until Ben loses his shit, and then we can start. Okay.
Ryan, is Russ a slow player in real life? Is that how he keeps coming in second?
This is winning by default. I'm happy with this. Like, just time him out. Just time him out on the chess clock. We're done.
Time him out. Okay. We're starting. Concerning the chivalrous men, this long-legged, long-necked bird is preceded by the partner of Wiz. Oh, that's a mad one. Sorry, it was a while ago I wrote this, so it's a bit nuts. I'll read it again a little bit slower for Ben.
Ben blacked out.
Concerning the chivalrous men, this long-legged, long-necked bird is preceded by the partner of Wiz. And this is 2 words. I will break it down a little bit. This is not counting as clues yet. So the first word is made up of concerning the chivalrous men. So that is your first word. And the second word is this long-legged, long-necked bird is preceded by the partner of Wiz. I'm just scanning the chat here, but it doesn't look like anyone is coming out. So someone's had a guess. Sorry. That was a good guess, but I wish that was Admiral Rudy. I wish that was a chapter name. That definitely needs to be one. And Pat McCracken, that would be amazing. I'd love that one. I'm not going to give them any clues by saying what you're saying, but no one's got it so far. I'll read it again. So, concerning the chivalrous men, that is your first word. And then this long-legged, long-necked. Okay, go for a partial guess, Ben.
Again, I'm just doing what I do best. I'm trying to throw out some threat saturation here on the board. Is it knights?
It's not knights.
Not knights. Okay.
I'm afraid. No, it's not knights.
That was me throwing the spaghetti at the wall to seeing if it would.
That was the frag grenade.
Delish.
Trying to get someone caught in the blast, but it was alas. I had an invuln save. I'm trying to think of relevant things, but that makes no sense. Anyway. I'm moving on.
I'm sitting here thinking about all these long-necked birds. I'm like,
yes,
flamingo, emu, crane, bin chicken.
You're not
like I'm just throwing all the.
I'm going to give you a clue and say that you haven't said it there, but it is. One of those birds was not it.
You know what the bird is?
I think so. I know a long-necked bird. That
is this a British
Hey,
long-necked bird? Because that's not cool.
But me just saying
you're like, it's Russ's mum. Yeah, how dare you? Your mum's a long-legged, long-necked bird.
She's not long-necked, let's be honest.
No, she's not. She is short. And to be fair, with that hunch, she doesn't look like she's got long legs as well. More hobbity.
This is doing a great job of hiding that none of us have anything.
I will move. You know what? Papa Kraken's getting very close.
Way.
Good guess, but
what's
not
wrong
quite.
with you people that you can?
I
guess
would
this?
say it is not worth half a point yet, but you're in the right area, Papa Kraken. I will move on to clue territory for the gents.
Please,
Look at me. I'm tying it in with the actual clues. Okay, so concerning the chivalrous men. So I go to concerning. It's something you might say. It's kind of very casual. You see it a lot it means quite a lot of different things. It's a 2-letter word, I guess. You see it a lot in email threads. That's probably a good enough clue. So concerning about something, 2-letter word that you see a lot in emails. And then the chivalrous men. This is a shorter way of saying a longer word.
Partial guess. Regents.
1 victory point for Ben. It is regents. Yeah, reconcerning, and then gents for gentlemen, chivalrous men. So that is 1 victory point, not 2, because I did move into clue territory, I'm afraid. But we now have 1 victory point left for a completion guess.
I want it.
So this could tie it up. So I'll move to the next one. So I'm going to say this is slightly reverse order. So it says this long-legged, long-necked bird, my mum, is preceded by the partner of Wiz. So what you're looking for when you say the partner of Wiz, that's actually going in front of the long-legged bird. And it's something, when I say the partner of Wiz, is something you would say to mean golly or gosh. You'd go, ho, something whiz.
Oh, yep, I get you.
I'm also going to say this isn't a real word. This is 40k word.
Ryan?
So, Ryan?
G-strict?
So it's you're very, very close. It's just the wrong bird. But you've got it though, but it's just the wrong bird.
Geron? Regents Geron?
Yes. Oh. 1 victory point. It's Regents of Geron. So it's Heron and Gee Whiz. So it's Geron. Yes.
2 options. An ostrich and a heron. And I went for
ostrich or heron. Yeah, that was bad. I figured that's what people would get stuck on.
Birds, and I didn't. And I was like,
heron
no way
didn't even
it's
cross my mind.
ostrich. I was like, ostrich is not going to work in any way, shape, or form.
Ostrich? It could have done.
I still went for it.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, that's what you got to do, man.
Yeah,
that's what you got to do. If you think you have a shred of something, you got to just blast it out.
It had the right mouthfeel.
That's what it is.
You have to swish it around a little bit. Yeah.
All right.
The bouquet. So the reason why you'd be forgiven for not having heard of the Regents of Geron is because they are a Space Marine chapter, Ben, of what? Founding and genetic origin?
Unknown, baby.
Unknown baby. Yes.
They're an unknown baby.
So they do have a little bit. They're an unknown baby. They're a cardboard box baby. Someone scrawled the name on and left it under a pool table. So they don't have any colors. They don't have any. They don't even have an insignia. They have nothing. Prime Legions of Russ, if you will.
Oh, yeah.
But they do have a little bit of history, but it's nothing. Basically, the chapter was sent to aid the Sons of Galathor chapter.
Also well known.
That's a cool name.
Also well known. So they were sent to aid their homeworld, which is the throne of Galat in the Ultima Segmentum. That's the first thing I've recognized so far.
They were destroyed by Nids.
Pretty much. That's that. I mean, it doesn't even get that far.
I like
That's
the
all we know.
Galathor team. They sound cool. Tell me more.
Yeah.
Do you want me to click the link?
Click the link.
Because Rhys, I will click the goddamn link.
I knew none of the words you're saying.
I won't look it up in my own time.
Where are we points wise?
1 point to Ben, 1 point to Ryan. Rhys, better luck next time. But we have one more. We can go for one more to try and get a winner. Let's play it up inside itself for a second time, Rhys.
Good luck to us. We'll only say this once. It's finally time for Legions of Russ.
Ooh.
All right, let's do it because we
Find the note.
We're on the
Find
clock, Russ. So let's fire in. Let's
okay,
crack it.
boom. I'm going to go straight into this one. I say that, but I won't. I'm going to try my best, though. Okay, so, 1 point to Ben, 1 point to Ryan. Chat, where, everyone here, we're with Ryan. Right, we need someone to win this Continental belt that doesn't occasionally show up to the podcast like Rhys or Ben. So let's go. Here we go. We're going to say it's another Imperium faction. Being kind to you guys. You're being kind to you guys. So here's the clue. I'm going to go back to the chat briefly to see what's going down. Here we go. If pollution or bad air evolved into humans, they might be called this. The color of passion, or nex. Another crossbreeding experiment. This time we mix bovine providers of milk and primarily nocturnal winged predators. This is an odd one. I've finished now. This is an odd one. I realize now. I know they're all odd. That's kind of goes without saying. I'll read it again. I realize now. Yeah, this is an odd one. So, if pollution or bad air evolved into humans, they might be called this. The color of passion, or nex. Another crossbreeding experiment. This time we mix bovine providers of milk and primarily nocturnal winged predators. So this is 2 words. But you would be forgiven for thinking it's 3. There's a little clue right in there. But it's technically written as 2 words. The first one is, if pollution... Oh, is this going to be a snipe? Okay, go for it.
Something redcoats?
So close. Oh, it's so close. Do you want to... Don't you dare steal this. No, I don't think that's allowed.
Crimson coats?
It's not redcoats, but it's very close.
God, Rhys.
It's so close. I want to give you a victory point, but it's probably not. You know what? I'm going to say a victory point for partial because it's not really.
What are we
okay.
doing here?
We'll move past. We'll move half a victory point because it's very close, but we'll move past.
That's not how Ryan wants to win.
It's at Russ's discretion.
That's not how Ryan wants to win.
I'm happy with.
You'll take half a victory point. We're moving on.
Rhys, did
what
you
were
have
you going to say,
Rhys?
Rhys is gone. Rhys
so have you
left.
told us what it actually? Have you told us what it actually is?
Let's see if Rhys can guess it.
Rhys, you had something.
I'm just assuming because he was so close and what I had. Is it red cats?
What was that again? Sorry, it sounded like you said red cats.
Yeah.
Oh, you did say red cats. Okay, no, it's not red cats. I'm just gonna say you don't get a half a victory point because you haven't expanded on what Ryan's already put down.
Well, I just want to go on record saying
close.
that I definitely was not going to say red cats, and I think you're a fool, Rhys. I just want to go on record by saying I was not going to say that.
Well, what were you
definitely not going to say red cats.
Sorry, Ben, what was your?
I'll give you a hint without taking away the possibility to get, I guess the full victory. I'm still going to allow a partial guess on this. So. Smash stuff together. This entire one is you are smashing stuff together. So it won't be just a single.
Ben?
So it's
Ben?
Okay for it?
Redact?
You got to guess. Redact?
Redact? Redacted?
Should probably redact that guess.
Hey, that is a. If you can
tell me how you got there.
This is another
how you got there.
Mouthfeel guest. Screw all of you except for Ryan, our wonderful guest. Screw you 2 boys. Redact is a great guess. If it's not red coats and it's not red cats, redact after you said, I quote, smash them together.
Please.
Redax is a great guess. I yield my time.
Okay, his time is it. So
Ryan?
the second, go for
Red
it.
cow. Red cow.
There it is, and that's why he gets the partial
Oh, the
victory
red
point. So
cow.
it's cow and owls for cowls. That was
had
what it
bats.
was.
That's why I went red
together.
cats, because I had bats.
Nocturnal, I was thinking bats.
Yeah.
It was
So-
pretty A-level play, guys. I was just trying to bait you off with,
Please stop trying to beat us off, okay? Not on our own show.
So that's two victory points because we're still. I'm gonna. You know what? Now that you've safely got it, I'm gonna take away your half and say you make it up to 2 victory points.
Jeez.
That's good.
Russ, here's the rules, and Russ
Completion
is just...
guess. You know what? Do you know what it says at the top of every card, Rhys? It
Red
says these
cow.
rules are at Russ's discretion. Baby, baked it in. So we've got the second part, the color of passion or necks, red, and another crossbreeding experiment. Bovine providers of milk, cows, and primarily nocturnal winged creatures, owls for cowls. So the first word, I'm going to read it again, and I'm going to say this is another smash together. I'm going to still leave the table open for 4 victory points if Ryan can get it. Otherwise, it's 2 victory points for someone else. So Ben, you could still tie it up here. So if pollution or bad air evolved into humans, they might be called this. So it's a smash up of what you might. So think, you know what I mean? I'm trying to make you think like, what would I? Oh,
Is it smoggy red cows?
that's kind of what you want to think. You're close. It's not the right one, but that is kind of what you're thinking. That's the right area. Yeah. I'd say think a more. I don't know if it is clinical. I don't think it is a clinical word.
Ben, if
Is that your guess?
Redacted.
If red cows?
if red cows. Okay, can you read it to me one more time? I apologize.
Wow.
Take your
Everyone else can now come in.
Hand off the buzzer.
Everyone else can now come in. Just you can't tie us up, but I'll read it out. So if pollution or bad air, bad smell evolved into humans, they might be called this.
Miasmin? Miasmin?
Yes. You got it. It's miasmin. So miasma and man, miasmin, red cows. Wow.
What kind of a name is that? Miasma?
Oh,
yeah,
my
it's a weird
chest.
one. Miasmin, red
I had
cows.
asthma for the longest time, and I was like, Asman? What?
It's already got asthma.
Red
Asman.
cats.
Yeah. Asman red cow. Asman red cats.
The Assman red cat.
The asthmatic red cats. We're here, guys. Give me a second.
And what
Yeah,
they do
they're,
is redacted.
Yeah.
It's going to be clear that did not tie it up, right? That did not tie it up.
You did tie us up because you had
It tied
you
up?
had 1 victory point. Ryan had 1 victory point, and you both just got 2 victory. Oh no,
yeah.
no, you didn't. You didn't get the snipe. I'm sorry, Ben. You got the completion guess, but you didn't get it. Like, because only the person who gets the partial without clues can get the snipe. So you got 1 victory point. So a winner,
Ugh.
a new Destinental champion
Pain.
is Ryan
What a
Slater.
bitch.
Oh yeah. Oh
He's the
yeah.
number
He
one
comes in.
bloody kill team Destinental player in the room as well.
UK. In the UK. Hey, only in the UK.
In the UK.
Only in the UK.
Which isn't saying much. It's only Russ.
Wow. It's the home of the sport, please, sir.
This is like cricket,
Sir.
mate. You're not even good at the sports you
Yeah.
invent, okay?
We're really not. So yeah, the miasmal.
Get a note.
Yeah.
Notepad made a world of difference. I was just writing.
That's
stuff
what
down.
it is.
That's the tip. There you go, guys.
I think Rhys should release his notes at some point that he writes down for all.
They are chaos at the moment. Like
Just
it's as well because
sometimes you put them up.
I'm so tired. Man, it just says cats a lot.
Hold on. I just want to read out some of the guesses from the people. Admiral Rudy said something cowbat.
I saw that. Yeah.
Someone said red cowbat. Someone said Hazeman
Mogman red cows.
Zubat. Smog eye red cow. I just want to say that I feel better after. I should do this more often. I feel a little bit better after.
My favorite is more cowbell.
More cow.
I didn't see that one.
Yeah. No, you guys all got it before both of them. You guys got them both before the chat,
Admiral
which is unheard
go
of.
take a shower.
Really?
About time.
Yeah, man. So I'll briefly go into it.
I'm really not. This has been a complete fluke.
Oh God.
So the Miasman Red Cowls, they're a militarum regimentum of the Astra Militarum, as you quite imagine by the name, or maybe not.
They sound like very Admechy to me.
They look Admechy because they've got red cowls. Like they look basically like human Admech. But as you might imagine, they wear rebreathers, and I mean, they wear heavy robes to escape the stench. But I don't know how the robes help. But they wear masks to get rid of the sulfurous stench of miasma, the stench of the gases on the planet that they live on, which is miasma 16.
They're based
in the northwest. It's definitely based in there, isn't it? Yeah.
Joke, am I right?
yeah, regional comedy.
Get it. You guys get it.
They know. So that's them. So I guess that was it. Ryan won Continental Champion. There's nothing left to do.
Dang it!
But to play us out over Ben's rage.
Good luck to us. We'll only say this once. It's finally time for Legions of Russ.
At least that song soothes my savage heart at the moment because I am just filled with rage. Ben
looks chill now. Ben looks
rage. Well, look, on that glorious, happy note, that's the end of the show for today. Ryan, take your belt and get out.
Oh, man. Thanks so much for being here, dude. That was great.
Yeah. So obviously, Ryan, I mean, you've got you've got Turning Point Tactics. So people should go on YouTube and check out Turning Point Tactics. And I mean, you're on Spotify. You're a podcast as well as the videos.
Yeah, so we're on all the major podcast platforms, so Spotify, Apple Music, all that sort of stuff. You can find our Linktree, which has like all our social media, just Linktree, Turning Point Tactics. And obviously YouTube's our main place, as well as Discord, Turning Point Tactics, and all that sort of stuff. So we've got the map pack on there, we've got everything available. So hopefully it's of some use and people can get something out of it. And it is designed to be applicable for people like Russ up to people like Ben and even
wow.
I don't want to say it, right? Like it's even, you know.
It goes without saying.
The thing is, though, I listen to the pod and I'm trying to digest everything, and I see those moments pass me by in games where I'm like, that's what I should have done. Like as it's gone past, I'm like, oh, I'm getting better. I know that I did a bad move now. Instead of I would have just done a bad move and not realized it was a bad move. Now I'm recognizing, and I'm like, oh yeah, I just did this deployment I did was complete dog shit. But now I know it is. And I think that's a sign that I'm getting better. I'm like, it's coming in.
Step of progress.
Yeah,
what do they say?
I think
the first step of progress is realizing that you have a problem. So congratulations.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Suck it.
It really is like the Turning Point Tactics. What you guys do is maybe some like. I would say we were talking about this before we hopped on like privately, but I think maybe the most value-packed kill team content I would say is what you guys do. Like it's just like the opposite of what we do, where it is just crumbs, like, and then maybe a little bit, but there's so much value in what you guys are doing. So really good stuff.
Yeah, I really appreciate it. Like,
thanks for the podcast.
Everyone. There's a whole spectrum in the hobby, right? And you guys are doing the 99% of it, and like we're doing the 1% of it. But it's more about building a community, doing that sort of stuff, and you being a TO and doing that, and the hobby stuff that you guys bring in, the players you bring in is massive as well. And that is the game, right? Like I think people can get lost in the competitive every now and then, but we're there to hopefully make people enjoy the game, enjoy competitive, and then build friendships as well, which is what it's all about. So appreciate you having me on. Much love.
Nice.
Oh, thanks for coming on, man. It's been awesome.
Nice one. All right. Well, that's it for the show. Special thanks, as always, to our guest host, Ben from Battle Brothers Tabletop. Thanks for stopping by.
And it's my turn. And to Russ from GFN for manning the wheel. Yes,
manning the wheel. And again, a special thank you. Oh no, I've got to put it to Rhys, haven't I? Sorry, and a thank you to Rhys at 3 to Wound for steering the ship, the ship that is Kill Team Casuals. Thank you, Rhys.
The tightest ship in town, they call it.
We run a tight ship that always turns up roughly on
again,
schedule.
That image of the barn with like the door slamming open in the wind is what I see. Like Ben's mental fortress, like, yeah, that's the ship. Yeah.
As always, make sure you do check us out with our Patreon. We're obviously the Casual Wargamers on YouTube. We've obviously got our individual channels, 3 to Wound, Battle Brothers Tabletop, GFN Gaming. Again, once more, thanks to Ryan from Turning Point Tactics, and we'll see you on the next show. Bye.
No.
Later.
Bye.
A huge shout out from us to our patrons who help keep everything going. So a big shout out to Kill Team Ken, Roscoe88, Justin Kung, TS Freebooter, Vulture B, Average Joe 27, Kill Team Cascadia, Craig F. Lincoln, George, Alan Chapman, Hillux, Swanky McMofo, Stooge Co, Admiral Rudy, Michael Richards, Gordon Ballantyne, Dave B, Io Adrian, Storm Owl, Brady, and Jack Whittington. Legends one and all.